Okay, now today's project is repairing a leaky steering gearbox on an old 73 Ford F100. This past summer it's been using more and more power steering fluid, and between the lines and mainly the gearbox, it's leaking power steering fluid all over the place, to the point where I almost have to refill it up every time I go to drive it somewhere, because it leaks out over the course of the day and the rest of the time sitting. So that's not good. So I'm going to take it apart and really tear the gearbox apart, replace the seals and so on in it. So let's get to it.
Okay, so the first order of business. Okay, so the first order of business is to get this castle nut right here loose. There'll be a hairpin in it like this right here, and I already took it out, but they push it through and bend it over. So you take that out, and then loosen this nut off and back it off a ways, and then you need to use a fork tool like this right here to wedge down in between the ball joint to wedge it off of this arm, and you have to use a hammer and drive on it until it pops it loose. So I'm going to do that next. Okay, so I got this nut right here backed off a little bit. There's probably an 1/8 inch gap there, and then what you do is put that fork in there like this above that rubber grommet, and you're going to destroy the grommet. It's just kind of the way it is. And then take a hammer, drive it in like that, and it popped down. So now it's loose. Okay, that piece is off. Now I officially have no steering at all on the truck. Okay, well now I'm to the top side, and all this stuff right here needs to be taken loose. There's a little bracket that bolts onto the top of the gearbox. It goes over and supports these two brake lines. Then there's this rag joint back here. It's got 4 bolts on it, two on the steering shaft, and then 2 on the gearbox. Then you got these 2 power steering lines. One's a high pressure line off the pump, and the other one's a return line. It goes through some tubing for a stretch for cooling purposes, and then back to the pump. So those need to come off. So 2 bolts there, 2 lines there, 2 bolts there, 4 bolts back here. And I already took this one loose, and that one's kind of a pistol because it was rusty and had a nut on the underside of it, so I had to try to reach under there. So that's what I'll be doing next. Okay, so I got the rag joint off and everything, or loose and everything. All the bolts are either loose or out of it. One of them I couldn't get out. So now I scrubbed everything and cleaned these 2 lines, and it's pretty obvious that these right here have probably been loose and replaced at one time, because this truck's 40 years old and these are shiny with no rust on them. So either they were replaced, or this truck was a New Mexico truck and it didn't get driven in the winter here in Ohio, so it could just be that it had been oil soaked that long. But in any case, it looks like Teflon tape around here, and that right there is not the kind of joint you use Teflon tape on. So I'd say somebody's had this off before. So I'll get to taking this loose. Okay, well those two lines are off now, and it's going to be time to unbolt the steering gearbox and take it out. And I don't know if you've ever seen the t-shirts and different things and so on that say Busted Knuckle Garage, but this is where they got it from. I've kind of had a wreck with my knuckle. So next I'll try to get that out, and I don't know if I can get any, there's not really any good way to get any footage of that thing coming out, so this is pretty much it for this, I believe, because there's just not a good way to get and pointing the camera at what I'm doing under there to get it loose. But there's a couple bolts to hold it to the frame, and I'll take it loose from the frame and I'll have it out, and the next thing you'll see of me is probably me having it on the bench with it cleaned up and ready to start taking it apart. So thanks for watching, and goodbye.